All right, so we'll start things off with Jessica Jones, boy, season 3. Uh, and the reason why I had to sigh about this first is that this heralds the end of the Netflix Marvel
Right,
universe. That
right.
was set up so brilliantly, a few years ago with Daredevil.
Yeah,
And it just kind of feels like this whole universe kind of ends on a whimper, instead of a bang, right? Which
right.
is any mean criticism I could see about this final season here, Jessica Jones. Now, before I jump into to what actually, I'll let you, Ricardo, just fill us in on what Jessica Jones season 3 is about. What I would say though about this series in general, right, about Jessica Jones, is that while it is, I would say it's my third favorite. Well, sorry, actually, yes, third favorite of the Netflix MCU series. Right. Of course, the first one on top being Daredevil, second one being Luke Cage, third one is Jessica Jones, fourth one is Punisher, and fifth, of course, is the one that everybody hates, Iron Fist. Iron Fist. Although I don't hate it as much as many other people do, but it's just that first season, boy, was just bad. It was just terrible, right? But Jessica Jones, I would give credit where credit is due. At least it brought something different. Apart from it being this neo noir take on the whole super powered individual thing, um, especially with the first season, how it just touched on this really uncomfortable theme of not just sexual violence, I mean towards women, right?
Right.
And how they just presented that in a sort of realistic fashion whilst using comic book characters, I thought was excellent. That's why I just really enjoyed and praised season 1. But then with season 2, it just kind of strayed further away from its comic book roots. At least I found so.
Yeah,
Especially as it came out right
was
after the Defenders, which was like, all
right.
right, well, the ultimate team up now, you know what I mean, with all the heroes. Now you're going back to, oh, I don't like being a hero, and I don't want to be a hero. Why do I have these powers? Blah 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 blah. And then I figure, well, okay, we incorporate maybe one or two more comic book characters I never heard of before because I never really read or knew anything about the character Jessica Jones at all. But no, they gave us this thing with her mother being some sort of psycho, and then her friend Trish wanted to have powers, and then she kind of on the psychotic side of things, and blah 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 blah. I was just like, all right, this is just not what we came to expect. Like you could tell, you could have your melodrama, right? You could have your pseudo realistic stuff, but still, in the end of the day, it's a comic book show, and people kind of come to see comic book characters, right? And this is why stuff like Luke Cage, especially season 2. That's why that excelled because yeah, you had characters like Bushmaster and those guys, right? Even though I never knew them from the books, I could easily assume they are comic book characters, right? And same thing with Punisher, right? With bringing back his arch nemesis, right? And to a
Yeah,
lesser
Jigsaw.
degree, Iron Fist, right? But still, with Jessica Jones, and I would say this is like a problem that kind of leads into this new season here. It just kind of feels like it's just trying to be less of a comic book series and be its own kind of neo noir series, which is fine. But sorry, when you just slap the when you slap the word Marvel and you have it be part of this universe, it kind of it just kind of leaves
Yeah.
people out there. You know what I mean?
No, well, the main problem is that all of this is more behind the scenes shenanigans went down with this
Right.
in terms of merging the stuff now, So a lot of speculation and whatnot, but basically it's pull matter, right? Everything pull matter can again drum out and scrub out from the narrative. That's why it's at this point I think it's pretty much, well, they're not part of this continuity, maybe.
Yeah.
Um I mean, I think at this point is you can safely say that because like almost virtually no mention is made to these people. So it's like wow.
Yeah,
Uh
you're wondering like why do? But before we
right.
get into like what season 3 is about, your history with Jessica Jones thus far, like, is it a show that you thoroughly enjoy because of its neo noir
Yeah,
aesthetic, or it's just like,
I just yeah, I dug season one. Season two was a big letdown, but I didn't like I did at the time I was just like I just went through it and I didn't invest too much in it, so I didn't
right?
care. So it didn't matter. It's like, well, it sucked, but whatever. And then because the other shows was kind of a letdown too, I was like, all right, well, they gotta wrap these up, and I kind of don't care anymore. And so let us, do this and finish it off. That is it now. I mean, all
Yeah.
the shows get cancelled. Like, yeah, well, I ain't care anymore. So it's like moving on. Yeah, that's about
Yeah.
it. Nothing else to pull or say from because it's like they had nothing else to do. I mean, what we gonna get?
Which is unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah, we just gonna get the streaming service stuff going on, and we'll see what I'm more focusing on that and what Disney gonna be doing there. This stuff is done. I mean, that's it. That's my problem with it. So that's about it.
Right. Just want to fill us in briefly on what season 3 is about.
All right. So yeah, season 3 is effectively just a kind of return to form for the character, and or at least an attempt to. And she said, "Well, time to go back to things." She have to work with Trish this time to deal with just a bunch of new, let's just call it villains and scare, spooky stuff coming back. Right. That's about it.
No, to say villains and spooky stuff. That's one of my main gripes with the season. But
yeah,
I just want to hear your thoughts on it overall. Like what are your thoughts on season 3 on this final?
Yeah,
season?
to tell you the truth, I can't really, in good conscience, be too invested in this anymore because all of this wrap up. It is better than season 2.
It is. It is by a long shot. It is. Yeah.
It's fine. I can't in good conscience say I didn't invest too much in this one because all of this stuff just gonna wrap up anyway. It's kind of like this is I'll put it like this. It's not as bad as this, but it's a kind of working comparison. This is Dark Phoenix all over again for me, right?
And I was thinking the same thing, even though I haven't seen Dark Phoenix yet.
Exactly. I'm not invested in the meta narrative. I'm not invested in any of all of this going forward. So that's about it. It was good. I liked a lot of stuff. I liked a lot of stuff, in it. I like the characterization, but they still mess up Trish. Trish character is still trash. Trish is still trash. Trish trash.
Yeah.
It have an okay ending, I suppose. So that's about it.
Yeah, I can live with the ending, to be honest. I can live with the ending. And I didn't expect that they do the thing that they did, which I don't want to spoil. But when I saw it happen, I was like, it's kind of cool. All right, it leaves it kind of open-ended. The possibility of a fourth season or something like that. Who knows, right? So I'm glad they did that. So I'll just jump in from here, right? So let me just get it good out of the way. Kristen Ritter, who plays Jessica Jones, once again she just knocks it out of the park. She is fantastic here. A lot of people who have been, the few critics out there online who actually reviewed the season actually were praising her performance. And, seeing the whole series play out, whole season play out. Yeah, I have to agree with them. I mean, she was fantastic as Jessica Jones, right? Supporting cast, for the most part, I mean, they do what it is they had to do. It's just that the subplots that they're given, I didn't really care for. Case in point, Eka, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, Eka Darville, who plays Malcolm, did not care for his arc at all. It just kind of felt like, oh, by the way, well, that one, addict who trying to make it, trying to, be legit has an issue with this, right? And I don't know, it just went nowhere for me. I got bored by it. It just kind of ends where it ends, right? Same thing for Carrie-Anne Moss, unfortunately, who plays Jerry Hogarth, right? Who wasn't a favorite character of mine, but I just like seeing Carrie-Anne on screen, right? But here is just this really tired and drab subplot about some old lover from the past who comes back and she wants to be with her, but the problem is that she is an a-hole, and now she kind of schemes her way back into her life, and then I don't want to see what happens to the guy, but this kind of ends on this kind of toxic note, like, oh well, Jerry's trouble. I was like, what does that have to do with anything though? You know what I mean? Like, not saying that all these story arcs have to come together into one big whole, but I just seeing that the stuff that's going on outside of Jessica's story just didn't really rope me in.
Yeah, nothing
at all. Yeah. As those two in particular.
I'm gonna be honest with you. This week, when I tell you I didn't finish it from last week, I really took a while to finish it off for the rest of the week. I was like, oh, I didn't stream this out or binge this at all.
Neither me. All right, like to be honest, to be perfectly honest, it took me roughly 5 days to watch this out. The last 2 episodes I watched this morning, anytime it's recorded. I took my good time. I would just watch like 2-3 episodes, pause, do something else, like case in point. Yesterday, I watched 3 episodes and I stopped when I watched Toy Story 4, came back, and I was just so tired. I was just like, do I really need to watch another episode of this? Fight?
No, but
Okay.
Even Iron Fist season 2 took me 2 days.
And here's the ironic part. That had less episodes.
Yes.
I think it had like about 10 or so. And this is another problem with,
this 13
these shows again. This 13 episode nonsense is just torture, boy.
Well, I think I suspect that is because of the contract. It's contract reasons. It's not because, they write this, they had to water it down now. Yeah. I suspect that is contracting. I think if it was up to the creators entirely, it would be 8 episodes. I feel so.
Yeah. Case in point, right? So not to spoil the show. There's a series of incidents that occur concerning Trish, right? I'll get to Trish in a bit. I didn't want this to happen, but with these 13 episode things, especially with this Marvel stuff, they always have to have that one filler episode. They always have to have the one flashback episode where it's like, oh, remember what happened back in episode this? Well, this is what happened after that, basically. What was happening during those moments, right? Where they cut back to Malcolm and Jerry. And they literally have an episode about that concerning Trishna. I was like, but you could have just wrapped this up in like 2 episodes, though. 2 consecutive episodes. We'll just do like a 7, for example, and then jump into 10 and then say, oh, this is what happened back in 7. You know what I mean? It's like, no, this is pattern. This is pattern. The same thing that people have been complaining about for years, though, and you're still doing this. Yeah, I mean, Daredevil season 3 kind of gave away with it, but still, it was a problem. But
season 3 understood its pattern. Again, we know this from since the days of anime, right? If you're doing fillers, if you're doing a pattern thing, it has to address unanswered questions that you won't have time to fill in anyway.
Yes.
Right? Pattern, your pattern has to be effectively cut scenes. That is what it have to be. That is what it have to be. It can't be true pattern. No. That is what's kill these things now. The people just think this out so well. And again, I still think all of this is behind the scenes contract stuff. They had a contract for 13 episodes. They had to do 13 episodes. That is what it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't
correct.
So what?
Right. Right. So just a few more things before we get to Return, right? Once again, well shot, great cinematography, very neo-noirish. The music really evokes that a lot, the sort of jazzy vibe of it. And I say it again because it's this kind of thing that makes the show so frustrating. But let me just talk about Trish and then I'll just get to my overall issue with the series as a whole, right? So Trish, I'm glad that they gave us stuff to do, right? Consider what happened with her from season 2, right? And in this case, basically, not to spoil too much, she feels because she has these newfound powers that she should, she should seek justice now. She should fight crime and all that kind of stuff because apparently Jessica doesn't want to do it because, she ain't want to be no hero, right? Whatever. Yeah. But it gets to a point where she runs into the villain, right? Who, oh gosh. Like, I was expecting another sort of super-powered villain, Dread. But y'all just had to go on the Dexter route of things, Dread. And bring us a serial killer. And not even a serial killer with a proper motive. It's just, oh, well, I kidnap people. I take pictures of them while I'm trying to squeeze the truth out of them, right? Quote, unquote. And then I kill them and chop them up into pieces.
And it's a decent enough premise, eh?
Yeah,
is a decent enough premise. So I can't in good conscience say, oh, well, this was a completely trash idea, but boy, here's the problem. Again, if you're giving us 13 episodes, at least think that shit out now.
Yeah, they didn't even give him a proper backstory neither. It's just something about his brother and that's
again, your full episode supposed to flesh that out. A whole episode dedicated to this. See what they do with Kingpin?
Yeah, and what they do with Bullseye in season 3 of Daredevil. Yeah. Brilliantly, right? Yeah, could have done that here. Don't just tell us about your brother and your father and blah, blah, blah. Like, no, it was just like serial killer 101 kind of thing, right? But although I do appreciate the performance that the guy gave, I don't know his name, but the guy who played the killer. Played good.
Yeah.
Yeah, not too hammy, but still on the, all right, a variant towards psychotic. Like, like some really off of them, right? Cool. Great performance from her, whatever. But yeah, with Trish though, and then they work something around with her, and then related to her mom. They're gonna see what happens there. Yeah, the mom is just as annoying and trashy as before. And because that is like, oh well, they're trying to show that, because the mom was this way, this is why Trish is that way. And then like in the last third of it, she just start making one bad call after the next. Like she was doing before,
Yeah.
but I like that she was able to be like, all right, okay, I get, understand. Okay, I wouldn't do that. And when you're thinking, all right, she's not gonna do it, she does the thing, and you're like, oh, gosh, why? But I do like how her arc wraps up. It's just like, yeah, this is exactly how it should play out anyway. Like you're trying to do the right thing. And I was thinking like, this is like Dark Knight in a way, like kind of like how Two-Face's character was. He thinking to do the right thing, but it's all, murderous and stuff like that, right? So it kind of plays out like that in a way, right? But yeah, they really could have done her character much better, in my opinion. She just came off, once again, whiny and, don't tell me what to do and you think and don't what I mean, all the time with Jessica. I mean, Jessica plays her sarcastic role, right down the middle. Like she could just stick with that, right? That's fine. But even she herself shows some growth, it's a little bit, but she shows it not, especially near the end. But Trish is just like, all right, I think I get, but I'm still gonna make these stupid mistakes because I'm Trish, and that's it, right? And that was a
Right.
letdown for me. But overall, though, and this is like the thing that makes this season so frustrating to me. I guess the series as a whole is that all right, cool. You want to play is a neo noir thing. I get, right? Your elements are there. I mean, the tropes are there. The jazzy music, the sort of Venetian blinds, and the characters, the shady cops and the private eye and the lawyers and all that kind of stuff. Cool, they're there. If I went in not knowing that this was part of a universe that consists of characters like Daredevil, Luke Cage, Iron Man, stuff like that, right? I'd just go in and be like, yeah, this is like another neo noir series, like say Dexter, for example, right? But once again, because it's part of this bigger universe and treating this thing like it's its own thing, right? Which is daring, yeah. And I mean, it's bold, but at the same time, it's like, but it's still part of this universe, too. Like, sure, you get a couple of cameos here or there, but that's not enough for me. And especially with 13 episodes and this really long binge time. And as we said before, we didn't even binge this. It took us like 4 or 5 days to do that. You had to give us more than, oh, but it's so cool, man. It's
Right,
so
but
edgy, man. You had to give us
yeah, no,
more than
that
that.
was I wasn't just each episode wasn't hyping me to go to the next episode. That is another problem.
Exactly.
Like
You're
it had
right.
this,
That's my point. Yeah.
yeah, that is really bad kind of like jumping points. It's like okay, I think it's the only episode that had me kind of interested to the next one was from 7 to 8, and I was like, okay, that's it.
Oh,
Everything else
right.
was
Because of what happens at the end, right? Yeah. That was pretty
right.
interesting. Yeah. Kind of
Yeah, but
shocking
that's
though, isn't it?
yeah, and I it's shocking how they. I mean, I didn't think they fucked this up. It wasn't as bad as 2, but jeez, but it's still like just half-assed. And I get the feeling that them themselves didn't care, and it's like, well, we're getting cancelled anyway. Fuck it, they're moving on.
Yeah, so let me just do this thing. I mean, nobody will care after all. But now to get to rating, right? So at the end of it all, I already know that this show is gonna show up in like online publications. I know I have somebody, at least one person, who will say this is one of the best shows of 2019. And I understand, I get, right, in terms of the
Mhm.
aesthetic, the style, and all that, the acting, director, and all that kind of stuff. But I had to disagree. But I think this is a step down. This is a unfortunate end to such a promising, TV universe as far as Marvel goes. Not expecting
Yeah,
everything to be a set of explosions and action and stuff. Like this is not what Jessica Jones is about. But just give me the stuff that made us love the show in the first place. Like give us season one. Like what the elements of season one that work,
yeah.
just give us that. And I'm not talking
Well, I
about
mean,
Kilgrave,
the only
but
reason what I work is because of Purple Man to us. So it's like, well,
yeah, well, true,
yeah,
true, true.
so,
But because you had a great villain in the form of him, right? And
yeah,
just what they were able to do with comic book characters in this modern context, but they didn't really give us that here. It's just your average neo noir show, and that's what we get, right? Unfortunately. So I'll just say my rating one time for me. I guess I like a decent 3 out of 5. It's all right. It's not a total waste of time. And I mean, if you are a fan, I there are things in it that you'll enjoy and you may appreciate it for the most part, especially it being the end. But when you think about it being the end and it kind of closing off this TV universe of Marvel is like, nah, man, you really
right,
will feel let down in some way, shape, or form.
right.
I mean, we can't really do anything about it. I mean, we could wish that it may return one day, these shows, but I don't know. We'll see. But This
So, yeah,
was a bad way to end things off, in my opinion.
right. As I say, I don't know if everybody getting outright fired per se. We'll find out, but I think anybody who connected to Perlmutter getting shit can, in my opinion. That's what I think happening in terms of the politics behind the scenes are going on, especially with Disney and that streaming service now. We'll see after the fact if they have a new Daredevil, if they'll bring back Charlie Cox or something. Because really the big highlight was Charlie Cox, in my opinion. Everybody else
Definitely.
Yeah, everybody else I didn't really care for all that much. Well, of course, and this other D'Onofrio.
All right, but not even Mike Coulter though, as Luke Cage.
I rate Mike Coulter all that high, frankly. I mean, I liked him a lot, but to me, it's like, well, he just it's nothing special now, and it's fine. But to me, everybody could get shit can. I know who will come back. It'll be fine.
Okay, but rating wise, what would you give Jessica Jones season 3?
5 out of 10.
Right.
If season 2 get it 4, this get it 5. It's slightly better, but still, whatever.
Yeah, but again, but not by much at all, unfortunately.
Not by much, yeah.
Yeah. And I guess at the end of the day, if you like stuff like this, cool, you'll have a blast. But at the end of this universe, once again, boy, we could have gotten way much more.